It's the Chris and Joe Show. It's the Chris and Joe Show. It's the Chris and Joe Show with Chris and Joe. It's the Chris and Joe
Show. We have an artist here today by the name of Crysy.B. She is a local Milwaukee artist, and we are here to interview her and just find out more about who she is so that you guys could know who she is and where she come from. So here we go. Hey, Crysy.B.
Hey.
Welcome, girl. Welcome.
I'm shy.
Don't be
Love her. Oh my goodness.
I
Please
know.
go check her out, y'all.
We're going to start off with the words A-R-T.
Yes.
Art is a form that we all express or use to express. So we want to know, using the words A-R and T, what three words can you come up with that describes your art?
My music,
Yes.
arise, responsive thoughts. I want my music to help people, but I want it to start with the way that they think, you know? Because if you just start moving, you won't move different. You got to think about it, put your steps into place, look at the outcome. So you got to arise your new responsive thoughts.
Okay.
It arises your responses to the thoughts that you have. Girl, give it to me.
Deep, ain't it?
Too deep for her own good.
And how old are you again?
15.
15 years old, girl.
So,
Okay.
Crysy.B, what type of art do you create?
I create musical stories. It's like mental therapy.
That's what it is.
It is mental
It
therapy.
is. When you listen to music, when you going through something, it do something to you. Like, I don't know, it do something to you. It give you a upbeat. Like when I clean up, I like to listen to my upbeat music to keep me going.
Right. It's like sometimes a story that you can relate to can go a long way. It can help you in so many ways. You don't even realize it's helping you, and it's helping you.
I like
That's
that.
how it is.
Yep.
All right. So, when did you discover that you have a talent for this type of art?
You know, I didn't really know I had a talent for like writing and singing. Like I knew I could sing. I mean, not to be conceited, but but like I wrote my first song when I was like 11. It was like just thrown together.
How often do you say that you work on your art or your craft?
I work on it whenever God tells me to work on it, you know?
Okay.
It just comes. You know, when I see something, I feel something, or I feel something that God wants me to feel,
God,
I just like, it flows.
she listens.
Right. I don't like to force a song into existence because it makes me feel like it's not real. It's not
Right.
true. It's make believe. I don't like fiction.
Art is therapeutic.
Yes, 100%. I believe in that because, like I said before, music is therapeutic in general. A musical story can go a long way because, like, I don't really know how to explain it. I got a different view on the world. So I feel like if the world listened to their own problems, it would be a better place. I wrote a song called Reflex, right? I was depressed and I was sad and I was angry, and my mom played this song, right? And I listened to it. I'm like, oh, I wrote this song and it helped me. I thought it would help other people. Like, I just need to reflect problems back and forth. It's the defect. Like, oh, that's what I need to do. Like, I need to reflect. When you listen to what you're going through, it gives you a better understanding of what you're going through, you know?
And
Okay.
to help your outcomes.
Yeah.
That's
It
therapeutic.
will arise responsive thoughts.
So that brings me to why you create the art you produce.
I created to help other people,
Okay.
but I also help me at the same
So
time.
what brought it out? What made you want to produce music?
Well, I grew up in music. I always knew I wanted to be a singer, and then I started songwriting. So I felt like, oh, I like this. And then he told me that this is what I'm going to do. And I wouldn't be doing it if my mother didn't, like, push me into it, you know? Not force me into it, but she gave me a push. And, you know, like, I started my journey then. That's
So,
how it was.
What are some of the feelings you have when you're actively with your craft, working in your craft?
I feel whatever the person I'm writing about is feeling. You know, I like to put myself in that person's shoes, or third person narrative in literature. Like, I'm watching them and I can see, like, I like
Like
to,
a fly on the wall.
right.
Kinda.
I
Like
can
a
see.
fly on the wall. You
Yeah.
are the musical fly on the wall.
Right. I want to be the observer. When I observe, I feel what they feeling. You know,
And it allows you to,
understand their story better,
so that you can produce something.
and so I can produce it in a way that they won't be offended, but understand. You know, because I don't know who I'm writing for, but when God tells me what they're going through, it gives me a different understanding. Like, oh, I thought about this thing one time, now I think about it differently. I can empathize. Like,
Right. Instead of being judgmental,
right.
you open up your mind to
Right.
see how they're feeling about something.
Right, like if a dude cheated, right?
Okay. Or a woman.
Right, if a person, let me not be,
Because men and
Whoa.
women both cheat. These
y'all
birds
see
are
that?
loving us out here.
if
No.
a person cheated, I can look and be like, my first thought is, oh my God, you stupid. But when I look at it now, I got a different perspective. Like, what was the situation? What were you going through? What made this person do this? Like, how did you come? What did this come about? And I can look into that perspective and make it so that that person can reflect on themselves, but I can also reflect on myself at the same time, you know?
Because it's a universal message.
Right. It's like I was being judgmental about what this person is going through, but this person needs to reflect on themselves
I
And
like
God gives you the words
to say it without offending anybody.
to help them.
Right.
get through.
Because music, you quote music.
Right.
If it's catchy, I'm going to sing it.
Right.
And if it's a message that I need to feel for myself, I'm actually speaking it into my life.
Mhm.
You know what I learned though? I learned that you listen to the music you feel like.
I
You
can say
listen to
that.
the music you feel like.
Right. Like,
Okay.
you can listen to a song that has everything to do with you and it can still not be catchy to you. You can never learn the lyrics, but you listen to that song because you feel the message.
Or you feel the beat.
Where you,
Right, you feel the beat. The beat is what speaks the most, regardless of the lyrics.
Okay.
but then when the lyrics come, it make you
just-
want to get emotional. The
Right.
lyrics bring in the emotion to the feeling.
Yeah.
Right.
I like that.
That's what it is. You
I like
listen to what you feel.
How do you know what you're going to work on?
I never know what I'm gonna work on. It's God again.
It's always going to
One time he gave me a vision of what I was supposed to write, but he never clearly stated like, you gonna write this, and then end it like that. No, he just wants me to get the message across so that the person I'm writing about can heal. It's all about healing and finding your way towards him.
Do you have a vision of what it is that you are working on? Like when it's done, do you kind of know what it's gonna feel like or be like at the end once you're done writing it?
Sometimes I do. Like, I wrote a song yesterday. I know exactly what it was gonna be like. I'm like, oh my gosh, this gonna end here. I know exactly what it's gonna be about, where it's gonna end, who it's gonna make feel better. But sometimes I don't. It takes me like half a month to finish a song when I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay.
You know, like,
So you could have to pause in between.
right? You
sometimes.
gotta pause. Sometimes I don't clearly understand the story, and I gotta take a break and then come back and be like, this is what it was for.
I get that. Art and audience, do you share your artwork? So where can we find your artwork these days?
My music is platformed in a lot of places. You got YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, Amazon, Instagram, Facebook. You can follow me on those platforms and Twitter. Look me up on Google. I made it. My lyrics on Chrome.
Know that your music is effective.
I know it's effective because it affects me.
So can we elaborate on that while before Joe asks the next question? What do you mean by your music affected you? Like, what is your story?
Well, since I was little, I suffered through a lot of depression. Like, I get depressed for no reason. I don't even know why. But my pastor told me that I'm depressed because God has me on the front line and he's gonna use me. And when the enemy tries to get to you in a certain issue, it's gonna make me question myself. So I learned that depression is not something I should be ashamed of. I should be happy because like how the devil trying to get to me, he feel me as a threat. Like that's how I feel.
Yes, girl.
I'm learning
yes.
to overcome depression in the best way.
How can we recognize your pieces of work?
My music will always have the deepest story.
Okay.
And it's like I like to play with words. Like sinking and sinking. Like I could be talking about sinking in the water or I could be talking about washing my hands.
Okay.
You never know. Plus, it say Crysy.B at the bottom in the corner.
Her tag say Crysy.B.
Say Crysy.B in the corner on the picture.
5 years from now, where do you see yourself artistically?
I feel like I'm gonna be one of those really known songwriters, and then people gonna be like, "Oh my God, it's Crysy.B. You helped me." I'm like, "No, God helped you."
So can you explain to us what has been one sentimental or favorite piece or music that you really like?
That you created
Yeah.
of your own.
Hold on, I gotta think. It's a lot of them. My favorite right now would have to be Reflect, the one I told you guys about earlier. I think that song is the most powerful song I've ever written because it's the most clearly stating too, because like it's reflect. It's clearly stated like reflect back on yourself. Your problems are being deflected, and I like how in the song I said that I was dealing with my defects, and then I switched it into hanging with my defects because I've learned to accept it. I've learned to accept it. They're not defects anymore. They're not flaws anymore. They're me, you know?
Ooh, y'all need to go check that song out. I'm trying
It's
to tell
on
you.
YouTube,
It's on
right?
YouTube.
Yes, Reflect.
Yes.
You got to search Christina Sings, though, because...
Can you spell Christina for
Yes,
them?
'cause it's so many ways.
CRYSTY.
So Christina Sings, you can follow Christina Sings on
Facebook, Instagram.
All right, guys. Crysy.B, our local Milwaukee singer-songwriter. Do you have anything going on that's coming up soon?
Yes.
I mean,
Any new singles coming out? Any
Well,
projects you
I will
working on?
tell you this. Well, I don't really know if I should.
Tell us.
Tell us.
Okay. Well, I have signed up for both The Voice and Songland. Nothing is official yet,
Okay.
but I do have auditions coming up this week,
Okay.
and hopefully y'all will see me there.
Pray for her, you guys.
Please
Good.
pray for me.
Good. Well, continue to let God use
Yes.
you. That's number one.
Yes.
I love your relationship with God.
I love it too. I feel
Her
so
music needs to be heard by people of her age range.
Specifically.
I feel like that too.
Yeah.
Because the next generation that's coming up, if it ain't getting better, it's getting worse. And I just feel like because of the generational curses that are caused upon us, we are all going through something very tragic. And we don't know it yet, but teenagers are cursed. And we are learning, we need to learn how to overcome ourselves so we can break the generational curse.
Overcome. Ooh. I got to
Okay,
chill.
now.
We just need to
Y'all- ooh.
reflect.
Okay.
Come on, give it to her. Give it to
Come
her.
on, girl.
Problems back and forth is the deflect. Oops, when I go crazy, that's my reflex. Now I'm out here dealing with these defects, yes.
Hey.
You said Dylan. Say it again.
I just need to reflect. Problems back and forth is the deflect. Mirror, mirror on the wall, show me. Now I'm out here hanging with these defects, yeah.
Man.
That was the second part.
Ooh.